Hello, we're going to talk today about some of the enhancements that have been made to firmware upgrades on Tektronix's new line of oscilloscopes. What I have sitting in front of you is a 2 GHz LFM chirp that's being supplied to a 6 series mixed signal oscilloscope, or MSO64. One of the firmware upgrades we released a little while back is a new feature we call Spectrum View. Spectrum View, just to remember where that is in the channel badge under Spectrum View and Display On. And what Spectrum View shows is similar to a math FFT, so it shows the frequency domain of the signal under channel 1 in this case. But it gives you independent control between the time domain and frequency domain. That's unlike what's normally used for math FFT traces on traditional style scopes. You also have some of the enhanced kind of controls that you would normally see with a spectrum analyzer. For instance, you can adjust center frequency, span, and RBW. So one of the enhancements that we've made in our more recent firmware upgrade is an increase in the span that's available in Spectrum View. So on the MSO 4 and 5 series, we have upgraded the span from 312.5 megahertz to 500 megahertz. And on the 6 series, that's the scope that we're looking at here, we've gone from 1.25 gigahertz to 2 gigahertz now. So an increase in span in this particular instance allows you to see the entire envelope of the LFM chirp that we were interested in capturing. Now, one of the other things that we've done with our firmware upgrade is we've gone in and we've added in several RF versus time waveforms. So, for instance, for this LFM chirp, I can turn on the frequency versus time trend plot and show that down here at the bottom, and you see a nice linear progression of frequency spanning that 2 gigahertz chirp that we were talking about. So it's a great way to be able to see how the progression of your linear LFM chirp is looking. Now, in addition to all of this, one more enhancement that we've made to our firmware is if you go into the Save As badge and go into Waveform, you'll now see under Source that you can save several different things offline. So I can save the analog, so that's the time domain representation of the signal. The SV normal, that's Spectrum View normal, so that would be the frequency plot up top here. The frequency versus time, that's the time trend plot that we just implemented. And we also have Spectrum View baseband IQ, so you can actually save the I and Q data from the Spectrum View screen offline as well, and that can all be saved into a CSV file off of your scope for further post-processing. So these are some of the enhancements that have been made to our new series of scopes. Please contact Tektronix if you have any additional questions.